Hey there, ShineOners. Welcome to the latest edition of Shot of Espresso. And this is actually a mega guide of 30 pages covering the past month of shots of espresso. So buckle up, let's get rolling with this. Paid advertising, the art of scaling up on Facebook and scaling out across ad platforms. So how the heck do you scale Facebook ads? That's the question we've been asking this year. It's been an interesting year. So how do you scale Facebook ads? This section basically assumes that you've already found a winning product using the farming method or any other method that you have that has helped you identify that you have a winning product. In our testing, we have found that basically CBO, large budget cost caps, is what works and has provided us the most stable results overall. So let's take a look at what that is. So the structure, campaign budget optimization. The budget is at the campaign level as opposed to the ad set level. It's one campaign, one ad set, and one dynamic ad. So your campaign budget, we like to start at $1,000 with a campaign bid strategy, as I mentioned, cost cap. So normally when we are setting up normal ads, it's automatically trying to find the lowest cost per conversion. With the cost cap, we're saying get us a sale at this price. So if we say set an overall budget of $1,000 and we set a cost cap of $50, then we're basically telling Facebook that we want to get a sale for $50 instead of Facebook trying to decide what the lowest amount is that they're going to find a sale. So the cost cap settings are found at the ad set level, and it's under optimization and delivery. So your ad set settings will look like you set the website pixel. Conversion event is still purchase. Start date is typically the next day at 6:30 a.m. and you'll schedule it to start at that time. Exclude custom audience of purchasers over the past 180 days. So you're making an audience under custom audiences of Facebook here. Choose all the people that have purchased in the past 180 days, and then that will be an audience, and then you're excluding them from the campaign when you set it up. Age, use your winning demographic, interest targeting, and whatever your winning interests were from your testing. If you have more than one seedling working well, then create these large budget campaigns, one per interest that is working well. Remember, just because you have a high budget doesn't mean you have to spend it all, and with cost caps, you probably won't spend your full budget each day. So if you set a budget for $1,000, Facebook isn't necessarily going to spend the whole $1,000, and you can still keep an eye on it and adjust during the day if you need to. Audience expansion. So audience expansion, checked if you have the option and auto placements. So audience expansion is something that may not exist anymore in certain people's campaigns. It's not even an option to turn it off now, so it's fine to keep it on. Cost control, place your bid around $55 to start. And here's an example. You can sort of see how this looks. Auto placements, and then here's the optimization and delivery that I mentioned before, the section that you'll find on the ad group, our ad set level. And the cost control is the cost cap that you're choosing here. Next is what's a dynamic ad? The dynamic ad setting is actually on the ad set level as well. Once that toggle is ticked, you can then add up to 10 creatives, 10 headlines, etc. For the funnel, some of the funnels that we've ran, we're running 3 variations of a similar video and 3 primary texts, 3 headlines, and all using the Shop Now button. We always use Shop Now, even though there are a few different options there. And once you start that sort of a test, basically Facebook can cycle through each of those and find a winning combination or winning combinations and serve it out as it sees fit based on different things that you've given it. So during the first 24 to 72 hours of doing a cost cap, you may need to tweak the bid a few times a day. Do not adjust the bid up after 1 p.m. It just can start throwing it off if you change it too late in the day. You can decrease the bid whenever you want if you're not getting the profit level that you want. More likely, you won't get a lot of traffic until 2 to 3 p.m. on the first day. Let the $55 bid run the whole day. Only mess with it if you're spending well but not converting well. More likely, you won't get a lot of traffic on day 1. you don't get good traffic flow by the next morning, say 10 a.m., then bump your bid up to a $1 to $5, depending on how aggressive you want to be. So as a general rule of thumb, and we mentioned doing $55 here, you can, if you had a few different ad campaigns that you wanted to run, you could try one at 55, 56, 57, a range in the 50s, and see if one seems to be outperforming the other, with also the option to increase or decrease on any of the existing campaigns as you're testing through this process. Cost caps like this do not always spend right away in the morning, so it's good to keep that in mind too if it seems like it's not spending. And since you are setting it at a higher budget and Facebook is running its algorithm, whatever it does, it sometimes you have to give it a few $100s to spend before determining if it's a winner or not. But yeah, Facebook will be optimizing. So be patient with the process. Even if you're close to break even early on, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. If you're dumping money, then cut it. But if you're close, it'll be more likely to optimize profit after 300 to 400 in spend. So, typically give it at least a day to 3 days and see where you're at. The rest of the scaling method is simply playing around with bids to continually find the happy blend of traffic flow and profitability. And to further scale, continue to move successful seedling interests to more 1-1-1 CBOs. So if you have an interest that you've chosen, let's say it's a daughter interest that seemed to stand out and do well at the seedling stage, then maybe you bump that out into its own campaign of 1-1-1 campaign budget optimization. Increase budgets on your current winning scaled cost caps, $1,000 to $1,500. So as you are able to get the results you need with your cost cap, you can raise the overall budget as well. We talked about adjusting the bids, but then you can also start increasing the overall budget once you start locking some things in. And duplicate winning cost cap campaigns. So as Facebook always tends to be okay with is duplicating winning campaigns and running multiples of the same campaigns overall. All right, in this next section, we're going to be looking at how we operate the farming method for running and scaling Facebook ads. And this is step 1 of the case study that Jim started putting together, getting your tools ready. So the design. The design is always important, of course, as one of the tools, because that's the first thing that people see is the design, and then obviously the jewelry, but the design and the message card phrase itself. We want to start by thinking, who are we wanting to target? And since a lot of the changes with Facebook this year, a very broad, very large buyer pool is important. So going for those broad audiences with products like this. Now, when we created this design, it was something that we already went through the phrase process, having multiple phrases, weighing them against each other. And a lot of times we will just do very simple backgrounds, but for this one we decided to go with something that was a little more ornamental because it was Christmas themed. So we have some snowflakes on here. You can see it says "to my daughter." And that's what we decided to go with. And, hopefully it'll make us some money, but if not, it's still always a learning, right? We can still put together all the best elements that we know how, and it might still fail as a front-end product. But keep in mind, with things like this though, maybe it doesn't sell well on the front end through ads, but if you still have it on your store, people might still pick that up when they're buying other things, or maybe they come in through another product and they see this one and decide they want this. So don't completely write off products that you think that are losers. They might still be a winner, but just on the back end, or maybe even through an email, if you have email system targeting that you're doing. So we hired a graphic designer on Fiverr to put this one together, and that's what you can do as well. So background. The background of this message card is a solid black color, which create a large contrast to the necklace, which makes it pop more in the newsfeed. Have the gold ornaments, as I mentioned before, and really just testing is how we always figure out whether it's going to work or not. Sometimes, getting through the failures gets you closer to that winner once you can finally find it. Now, the actual ad that will be ran will actually be a cropped version of this. What we like to do is get as close as we can to the phrase itself so that people can read it, especially in the ads. The product page, you can have different sizes and versions of it, but when you're really running the ad, you want people to be able to see the jewelry really well and be able to read the phrase. We'll also create videos based on that as well. So especially with winning product, creating the video afterwards as secondary tests is a great way to go. So pricing, we want to push high volume front end sales here and then boost AOV with a full upsell funnel. With this one, we were going for a lower front end cost, $39.95 and $59.95 for the wood box. And it will only work because we do have additional offers, upsells after the initial purchase. So it can be difficult to try to run something that is at $39.95 with ads, depending on how you're doing it. But you know that when you make the sale, you're collecting email addresses, and when you have upsells in place, it can still balance out so that it's break even or profitable on the front end. But as we say, most things are always worth the test. So you can still stick with the $59.95 and $79.95 on your front end products. And a lot of times that works just as well because people have the perception that this is a higher quality item and I want to spend more than $50 for this person that I'm buying for. So it's definitely worth the test. The cart page. So the ShineOn cart continually gets conversion rate optimized to make sure it's converting at the highest possible rate. So that's a huge service that ShineOn does provide to all sellers on the app and on the platform, constantly testing, trying new products, upsells, and button placement, text to get you the best conversion rate on all of your sales. We released the ability to use our package protection plan on the cart page. So that's an extra $1.50 in your pocket for each purchase, at least at the time of this recording. So like free money. So the upsell sequence, the last phase of the funnel is the upsell sequence. So done right, you can make a boatload of profit from that. We've seen a lot of that in our testing, that just after the person's already made the purchase, you offer something else that's complementary to that. So let's take a look at something there. So in this instance, if someone had bought the Love Knot necklace or anything that would be related to this, we have stud earrings. That was offered as a first upsell in that particular funnel. Now, we don't have any data here. This is one-click upsell. It's an app that you can get in the Shopify App Store. But what you would often see is once some sales have gone through, you can see how much this upsell is worth per visit. So it basically breaks it out. So if you'd made $100 and you had 10 visitors, then it would say $10 here. Even if not everybody had purchased, it divides it out so that you sort of have an idea how much that's worth to you per sale. If the person does not purchase upsell 1, then they will be offered a downsell offer of an item here. If they do buy the initial upsell offer, then they will also be offered upsell number 2 if you have it in there. So that's just sort of the basic flow of things. But again, what this really helps do is it helps you to obviously make more money, but it helps you to balance out the advertising costs right on the front end purchase, if at all possible. So it's always about trying to pair items that are complementary to either the product itself or to the person buying it. So if it was a father buying a necklace for the daughter, you could offer stud earrings afterwards that complement the product. Or you might think, okay, well, this is a dad. There's a good chance that maybe he's married. So let's offer him a product for his wife as well. And we see that work very effectively a lot. So important note, basically what this is saying is that this is the starting process of the case study, and maybe some changes will take place along the way and adjustments, but that's just sort of how the process works. It's iterative, and so that's what that important note there is for. And now we're going to look at TikTok ads and why it's time to get started. So we discussed scaling on Facebook, but now let's look at also expanding outside of Facebook and going horizontal. We did vertical with Facebook, scaling, showing you a case study, and now let's look sideways and see, well, how can we add additional revenue sources through other digital platforms. So TikTok ads. We've been talking about TikTok a lot over the past several months. TikTok is basically at its early stages. What is TikTok? It's an application that you can get on a smart device or on your phone, and It is a video platform that has become very, very popular over the past few years. It started with a younger age demographic, and now it's expanded into more of an adult market. And there's definitely plenty of adults, people 25 and over, 35 and over, that are on the platform, and they are buyers too. We have a lot of data that we've been looking at, and it's definitely working. So hopefully a lot of you have gotten familiar with TikTok, gotten the app, learned a little bit more about it, maybe even started your own TikTok ads account. But I get ahead of myself here. So the so what, who cares of TikTok? TikTok is basically in its infancy still in terms of its ad platform. And if you were to think early days Facebook, where it was a lot easier to make sales and make cheap sales, not spend a lot on ads to make some really good sales, that's a lot of where we're at right now with TikTok. So that alone is a great opportunity to jump in. And I know a lot of people are frustrated with Facebook and shutdowns and issues with that. TikTok definitely has guidelines of their own, but it's a lot more open right now, and it makes a great opportunity for people to jump on a platform that can really convert. TikTok just provides a great alternative to Facebook if it's something that you want to do instead of Facebook. If you're in a place where Facebook is your main focus and adding another platform might be challenging, then stay focused. Don't get shiny object syndrome, but stay focused on what you have and go with that. But keep TikTok in the back of your mind, definitely. So I'll let you read through some of that. But basically, it's just, here's some stats that you can look at. I mean, 1 billion people are actively using TikTok app every month. 100 million monthly active users in the United States. It's downloaded more than 2 billion times. And some of these numbers are from like mid to late 2021. So a lot of these numbers are going to be even higher. But it was the most downloaded app in 2020. This is an important one that I talk about a lot, is there are 30 million users over the age of 35 in the United States that you can target with TikTok ads. So if we're looking at more of a buyer demographic based on age, 35 plus, there's 30 million users right there that you can target. And some of these stats down below, 47% of users bought something they saw on TikTok. And I've heard this from some of my own friends that basically, they were looking at something that it was a special road that had autumn leaves on it, and they were inspired enough to actually travel to that location and see it for the fall. So people are seeing things just like anywhere, where you have people's attention and they see something that's interesting, then they might want to buy it or travel to that location. So it really is a powerful platform, and it's very visual with video as opposed to just people scrolling a Facebook feed, for example, and seeing images. This is a very active platform of video content that they're seeing, all the different dimensions of different products or just different ideas. So, yep, and the TikTok tag, TikTok made me buy it. It has over 4.2 billion views. That was something that developed organically on TikTok itself, and a lot of advertisers can sort of make use of that hashtag and help attract more buyers through that as well. So how can you get started with TikTok? So at least get started by downloading the app and learning more about how it's set up and what it does, the type of content that you'll find there. So you can download the app in app stores. You can search for it. You can click on the links in here if you need to. Create your own TikTok business account is another great step, so that once you are ready to start running, you have videos created for an ad, you can hop in there and start creating your own ads. They also have a creative center. If you want to just go and see what other TikTok advertisers are doing, you can check that out there. That's a great resource. And number 4, I do mention the app CapCut is a great method for editing videos. Keep in mind, you don't have to record your ads in TikTok to create TikTok ads. You can still record them in whatever method you want. Just make sure it's in the vertical format, and then you can edit it with a free app like CapCut, which actually is from the same creators of TikTok. It works really well. It's easy to edit videos that way. And yeah, so those are just some of the initial steps if you haven't really done much with TikTok yet, to sort of get started and sort of get your mind wrapped around it a little bit more. That would be our suggestion. So now let's dive just a little bit deeper into TikTok and some of the creative ways that you can create ads in this platform, how to be a native in the foreign world of TikTok. And I said that just because yes, it's another social platform, and yes, it's another advertising platform, but the type of culture within it is very much unique to itself in a lot of ways. So it's different ways that people interact with each other in the comments, the types of videos that are created, different trends that people follow within the app. So it's just really good to get yourself acquainted with it in general, and I'm gonna keep talking about that one a lot. So we have standard ads and Spark ads in TikTok. So what are these two different things? So we have two main methods for launching an ad. You can use this, what I'm called the standard method, which is just with an ads manager. And then there's the Spark ads method, which is creating an actual account profile in TikTok. So on Facebook, if you ran Facebook ads, you're accustomed to having a Facebook page that is linked to the ad itself. And so people can click through and see your page, and you have to have that in order to run an ad. With TikTok, they've created a way where you don't have to have a profile or page. You can just create the name when you're creating the ad, just whatever your store name is, you can just type that in, and it's not actually creating a profile, but it's sort of acting like a profile. Versus Spark ads, which actually is creating a store TikTok profile. Just like any individual creates their own username or handle that they use on TikTok, you would create that for your store, and that's kind of your page, or kind of like a Facebook page. And then you would run ads to a video on that Spark, or on your profile, basically, for your business. And so what you can do with that one is, once you've created the videos within TikTok, you can then find the video ID and link directly to that from within the TikTok Ads Manager. So that's sort of the difference there. And I outlined a couple things here. So either option works fine. We've had plenty of success just doing it the standard way, and that's how I would suggest doing it. Just create it within the Ads Manager itself. If you're going to do the Spark ads, that can have additional benefits. So it can drive traffic to a specific TikTok profile and sort of build up your business profile if you wanted to do that, help organic growth. If you have the video that's also viewable within your profile, you can have that or not. You can increase your social proof if you have a lot of people on there. You can have comments on for a standard ad as well, but it's something else that can build social proof for your actual profile if you don't mind having the ads actually on your business profile. Help increase the following so people can follow you, and you can build your following that way. And it looks more like a typical TikTok video as opposed to an ad. Again, you want to keep, the important thing here again is trying to create videos that do look like they belong within the TikTok space, right? So, but having an actual profile makes it, sort of pushes over the edge just a little bit more to make it look like it's actually a normal profile that people see when they're going through. So video creative ideas. Now, you can see I've listed out 13 different ways that you can create a video for TikTok, and I'll just kind of run through these. And if you reference a previous video that we have done on this, we show a few different examples of the video ads themselves. But show and tell, with this method, it's really just having the jewelry in your hand, showing it, talking about it a little bit, and maybe even reading out the phrase of the message card. That one can work really well, and you can keep that simple, and you can shoot that, in 5-10 minutes, once you get sort of used to how to do that. Recipient reaction. So if maybe you're an actor or an authentic situation, but you can have someone who is receiving the item, and maybe they are reading out the message card themselves, and you can film that, sort of like a catching the reaction kind of a video. You can do a giver reaction where, let's say I was playing, the husband or boyfriend, and I'm talking about this item that I bought for the person that's important to me, and just really reading the message card out and talking about it in that way. Multi-person dialogue. TikTok is known for a lot of dialogue and voiceover. I say voiceover, really like lip syncing is a very common thing. But you can also just create your own dialogue and interaction between two people. So it could be just me sitting in one spot and me sitting in another spot, or facing one direction and facing another direction, and just having a conversation with myself and just talking about the product or what you're going to do with it, that sort of thing. TikTok trends. There are always many, many different trends going on with TikTok, and so you can sort of find that by just looking through normal TikTok videos and just thinking, okay, how can I take this jewelry product or whatever it is you want to sell and fit within that trend. Sometimes it's just video transitions or filters that are popular. So it's if you're using a new transition, yeah, that's a very common thing to do a transition from one thing to another. Maybe I kick my foot up and throw my shoe at my foot, and all of a sudden it's on my foot. That could be a trending transition, or just a filter. Maybe it's a face filter, maybe it's a background filter. A lot of filters on TikTok. So unboxing, you could just do a normal unboxing video. Maybe you start by receiving it at the front door and then bringing it to the table, opening it up, pulling it out, reading the message card, that sort of thing. You can do a demonstration. That may lend itself to certain types of products, but a demonstration on what the product is or how it can function, depending on what you're doing. But just a normal demonstration videos can be very popular. Story from Z to A. So start with sort of the end. Maybe you're showing someone crying, or it wouldn't have to be that extreme, but it could be someone being very happy with receiving the product, and then sort of go back, and here's how I made this happen, and then you go back and show the product, do something like that. Talked about the hashtag TikTok made me buy it. That can be something that you can use in the description itself, or just put it up on screen, and that just immediately clues people in that, hey, this is something that might be interesting, and hey, this person maybe bought this, maybe it's something I would be interested in buying, so you have some of that social proof kind of going with that too. Pointing at things on the screen, so it could be just like point here and then words show up where your finger is, and then more words show up, or sometimes just making something appear. If I go like this and then boop, something shows up in my hand, so it's shooting the first part and then starting in the next scene with it already in your hand, and it looks like it just appears in your hand. Just different little interesting things like that can sort of make it more interesting and fun to look at, right? Ultimately, we want to sell the product though. So once you do create stuff like that, just make sure that you're testing it out. Try 3 to 5 different creatives and see which one is getting the higher click-through rates and which one definitely is getting more sales if you're getting some sales on it. So just a few more I'll run through real quick. Text-to-speech. There is basically text overlays are very popular on TikTok. So maybe it starts at the beginning. Like I said, you could have TikTok made me buy it, and it's actually a little text box in the screen, or it could say anything. It could be a perfect gift for dad, that sort of thing. You can actually make those text into speech so that there's kind of a robot voice. It doesn't sound like a robot, but a robot voice that will read it out loud. It's a very popular thing that you can use within your video that sort of create a little appeal at the beginning. Do a step-by-step guide. You can sort of walk through. So like here I mentioned, you could get creative and create a top 5 gifts to make your wife's heart melt this Christmas, and step-by-step guide to do that. You could also do a gift list and say, here, what did I have in here? The difference is that you made create a list of only products. So a step-by-step guide could be including accents and things around a product. If you were doing something like a gift list, you could just have several different gifts that you might buy for someone. So if you're a mom, maybe you mentioned some daughter products, a husband product, and maybe gift for grandma or something like that. But basically just think more like blog style, coming up with a guide or a gift list or ideas for gifting things to someone, right? Just sort of keep that in the back of your head for that one. Video editing options. Always talking about different video editing options. TikTok app itself is really pretty amazing. Within the TikTok editing system in the ads manager, there's actually really great editing tools that you can jump into and use video templates, smart video, smart soundtrack, and the actual editor itself. And you can go in there, you could take a raw footage that you've taken, drop it in there, cut it up, add some music to it, and really have everything you need right there. And you can do it from your laptop. Oh, so I didn't mean to skip TikTok Creator Marketplace, but that's where you can actually hire influencers or TikTok creators, and maybe if you wanted to hire someone to actually do it that's very native to the platform already, that's an option. I would start out creating your own videos first, especially if you were going to hire someone out to do your videos. Make sure you have a product that you know is already selling and that is worth going to those additional efforts and cost to create videos. So I mentioned CapCut app before from the creators of TikTok called ByteDance. That's a great app. Canva also has, it can not only help you with creating message cards pretty easily, but it also has video editing as well now. So that's something to check out, especially if you're already a Canva user. Camtasia, it's what I use for these shots of espresso, and it can be pretty easy to use to just cut up videos and export. For some free options, Microsoft Movie Maker, and it's just called Video Editor, but for Windows, if you search for that, you can click all these links as well. ScreenFlow for Mac, iMovie is something else that you can use that's free for Macs. Again, if you're hiring out for something, you can do Fiverr or Upwork, or both great hiring platforms that you could try to find people to do video editing. I wouldn't necessarily try to, and maybe there's some great people on there too, but I wouldn't necessarily try to hire people to do the overall video itself. But if you just need someone to do edits for you and you don't want to have to worry about that, this could be an option for you. All right, so we walked through scaling on Facebook, looked at a case study for Facebook that we'll continue to add steps to in future Shots of Espresso. Looked at TikTok, again, why that's important to really get started with that and learning what the TikTok space is like, and also looking at creatives for TikTok, because you can't have a TikTok video ad without some great TikTok creatives, right? So that's a good starting point. Get a product that you know is working. Ideally, have one that's working on Facebook, and then take it over to TikTok and get some videos created for that. Or you can also rework some of the videos that you do have. Again, just make sure it's in that vertical format and that you can see the product and see the phrase ideally, and run with that. Okay, so thanks for joining us in this Shot of Espresso. Everyone, you got this. Always stay shiny. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I almost forgot though. Stay up to date with ShineOn. You can sign up to sell with ShineOn here if you are not already a seller. Join our Facebook group if you're not part of the Facebook group. Love interacting with you guys there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here and download other guides at the link below here. All right, see you later.